What's going on, champions? So this is going to be a little guide to getting started to home workouts. So besides your own body, some basics that you would need for working out at home. I'm going to say a weight of any kind. So that could be kettlebell, dumbbell, or sandbag. And let's categorize those weights into a medium weight, a heavy weight, and then a lightweight. So medium weight, and that's going to be in order of priority essentially as well. So medium weight is going to depend on the person, but it's going to be a weight that you would do most of your exercises with. So you can think mostly goblet squats, presses of most kinds, or just movements where you're generally holding and moving around with the weight in general. I would say for most ladies, a good starting weight for this would be around that 20 to 35 pound range, somewhere around there depending on where you're at. And for gentlemen, that would probably be somewhere around that 25 to 40 pound range depending on where you're at. From there, you're going to look for a heavyweight. A heavyweight is what you want to be using for your heavier exercises, like your kettlebell swings, like your kettlebell or dumbbell deadlifts, or maybe your heavier carries or heavier lower body exercises, right? Depending on the person. I would say for ladies, anywhere above 30, 35 pounds would be a good place to look for a heavyweight. And for gentlemen, anywhere upwards of that 40 to 45 pounds. A good general rule of thumb is to have your heavyweight be at least maybe 10 to 15 pounds heavier than your medium weight. So you got a little bit of variety. And then from there, the least important, or the one that you can get if you got the other two, is going to be a lightweight of some kind. And you can think of this as your appropriate weight for most of your small muscle work. So whether that would be like shoulders, biceps, triceps, forearms, etc., right? Or any of your real big isolation work. I would say for most ladies, anywhere between 5 to 15 pounds is a good idea for this, depending on the person. For gentlemen, anywhere between 10 to 20, depending again on the person. That's a rough guide of weights and where you should be at, depending on, again, where your strength is at. In terms of equipment, stuff that I would recommend for dumbbells, any of the block ones work pretty nicely. If you can get one that's loadable, that would work even better, because in that way you can use the plates individually as lighter weights and you can have a little bit of variety with the weight itself. When it comes to kettlebells, I personally prefer the concrete ones, which are the colored ones, because they stay the same size regardless of what weight you get. And that allows you to kind of have a better learning curve as you get heavier versus having to adjust to a different size each time. Another option, if you have it available, is to have a makeshift sandbag. The one that I have kind of fell apart here, but it can make do if you don't abuse it as hard as I did. So I just took a pillowcase and I had some rubber mulch that I popped into there and then taped it up at the top. But clearly I didn't do a good job of sealing it properly, so I ripped down the middle. But I've had people who have made makeshift sandbags from putting weights into backpacks, which I've done myself as well, and has worked pretty nicely. And then also using things like, I think, kitty litter, or using sand, depending on what they have available. I personally use rubber because I can sometimes work out indoors, or I have to sometimes work out indoors. Sometimes I get to work out outside on my terrace, but otherwise I don't want sand leaking out. Things to think about, right? From there, other pieces of equipment that would definitely be beneficial, anything that you can hang off of. So pull-up bar works really well. As long as your door is nice and sturdy for that, that's a good way to work on hanging or pulls or any kind of upper body strength. And besides that, any other odds and ends that you have that you can throw into the mix to help you out will work really nicely. But I find with home workouts, it's best to just kind of keep it basic, keep it simple, and build from there. So from, again, body weight works nicely. You want to prioritize a medium weight, then heavyweight, and then towards a lightweight, depending on the person. Have a little variety between the weights if need be. And if you can, one extra tip, try to have variety with what type of weights you have. So maybe you have like a heavier kettlebell, moderately weighted sandbag, and a lighter dumbbell, right? Maybe you have a dumbbell that loads up a lot, so you can use the weight plates as light weights and load up that dumbbell nice and heavy. Whatever's clever, right? So whatever helps you get fit is always going to be what's going to be the most fun. As always, keep fit and have fun.